to this retreat. It's an extremely joyful moment for all of us because we are here now going to do something which exactly Swami Vivekananda wanted. You all know that Swami Vivekananda started this center with only one intention. That's this center be dedicated exclusively to the practice and preaching of Advaita Vedanta. So today, usually when I conduct retreats here, we have given a name to a retreat, Advaita, the nectar of Advaita. So in the next 6 days, here we are going to study this very important, one of the very important Upanishads, Mandukya Upanishad, with Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya's commentary. And we have with us revered Swami Tattwamayananda ji, who needs no introduction. He is known to all of us, and one of the very erudite Swamis of our order. And it will be a great pleasure and a great opportunity for us to learn from this erudition. And I'm sure in the next coming days, we should try to make the best use of this wonderful opportunity of drowning our mind into the realm of Advaita through the beautiful process of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana, as Yagyavallakya had told in the Vedanta Upanishad. Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasitavya. So the next 6 days, the first 3 days, that is starting from today, 28, 29, 30, 3 days we shall be having these sessions. On 31st and 1st April, we have our public functions. Again, on 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we shall be having this retreat. So every day we shall have 2 sessions, one in the morning, 8:30 to 10, and one in the evening from 3 to 4:30. And in every session, as Maharaj has said, that after about 1 hour of Maharaj's discourse, you all will have the opportunity to ask questions and interact with him. So I request all of you to make the best of this wonderful opportunity to be in this premises where Swami Vivekananda had stayed, the greatest Advaita Acharya of the modern times. And let us just try to fulfill what he had wished. So I request Revered Maharaj to start the session. Maharaj, please.
What I propose to do during the next 6 days. So, it is the shortest of the major Upanishads, only 12 mantras. It comes from Atharva Veda tradition, but at the same time, there is a belief and there is a tradition that if you don't get an opportunity to study other Upanishads, then if you just study Mandukya, that is enough. Mandukya meva alam, it's enough. Mumukshunam vimuktai, those who want to mumukshunam vimuktai for the liberation, for the enlightenment of spiritual seekers, this is enough. Mandukya meva alam. That's what is normally believed among the traditional Pandits and Sadhus. There are a few interesting things about this particular Upanishad. It is believed that Shankaracharya himself took the idea of Advaita primarily from this, because the 7th mantra, which is the most important mantra in the entire Upanishad, it's actually the very center of Mandukya Prakriya, as it is called. It is mentioned there, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham, Manyati. So the word Advaita actually comes in this particular mantra. And this Upanishad focuses exclusively on Advaita Vichara. All other Upanishads, including even the relatively shorter Upanishads, contain a lot of other ideas. Brihadaranyaka and Chandogya have a lot of upasanas, vidyas, different practices, and also some of the teachings related to Purva Mimamsa, Ashwamedha Yajna, and so on. But this Upanishad focuses entirely on what is called Vichara, the most straight-cut path in Advaita tradition. It is technically called Avasthatraya Prakriya or Mandukya Prakriya. If you use the word Avasthatra Prakriya, it is mentioned in Brihadaranyaka Chandogya as well. But Mandukya Prakriya, it means you just think of what you are and you reach your goal. That is an interesting aspect of this. Now you are going to be terribly bored because this Upanishad is a very boring and very interesting in one sense, but equally boring because you find this Rajasapa Bhranti repeated again and again. If you understand the spiritual dynamics of Rajasapa Bhranti, you will understand all about this. So give an example before we enter the text and before we enter the Mangala Slokas. For example, the Upanishad talks about 3 states of our awareness, that is Jagar, Swapna, Sushupti, technically called Vishwa, Vaishwanada, Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha, and Prajna, and Ishara or Antaryami. I don't have to go into details because all of you are familiar. Now, look at this, think of this Rajasapa analogy. Suppose you are seeing, again I am repeating what all of you know, you are seeing an object which resembles a snake in a semi-dark room or semi-lit room. There is something there is no doubt about it. This is very important. This is one of the important point of Purvapaksha and Siddhanta in this Upanishad. There is an object, but there is not enough light. So you mistake that object, which actually is a piece of rope, you mistake it for Sarpa, Jaladhara, Danda, and Bhuchidra. A snake, a thin stream of water, a crack on the floor, and also a piece of stick, which is very similar in color and shape to the rope that's lying there. And you have gathered this in our mind. Maybe in the forest we have seen a piece of stick, we have seen a crack on the floor, we have also seen sometime in the past a thin stream of water. So what happens is, through Adhyasa, Smriti Rupa, you see this rope as a snake, piece of stick, a small stick, or a crack on the floor, Bhuchidra, or maybe or a snake, of course, snake, stick, crack on the floor, and a thin stream of water, Jaladhara. Similarly, we see Brahman as Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, as a witness of external objects during waking state, Jagat state, as an experiencer of mental phenomena during dream, and as an experiencer of nothing at the time of experiencing in Sushupti. Because we are experiencing in Sushupti something, but we are not aware of that experience at the time of Sushupti. So there is Dvaita Abhava in Sushupti, but not Dvaita Aditatva. When you get spiritual liberation, we transcend Dvaita. In Sushupti, Dvaita is not experienced by us because the system is not able to function properly. I mean, technically called mind gets merged in Mula Avidya. That is the view of the what do you call it, Bhamati Prasthana, this Vajaspati Misra, Apayadikshila, and others. We'll come to that later. So now when you bring light, what happens is all these objects are gone. Snake has gone, the piece of rope has gone, the crack on the floor has gone, and also the stick has gone. When you bring the light, what happens is you are not producing rope, rather you are removing all wrong notions from our mind. So one of the central theses of Shankaracharya in his Bhashya is Jnanam tu Ajnana Nivartakam, Shastram tu Ajnana Nivartakam na Jnana Pravartakam. Shastram tu Ajnana Nivartakam na Jnana Pravartakam. Shastram or light removes darkness but doesn't reveal the object, because the object is self-revealed. And that's an important decision in Advaita. We are not getting any new knowledge. We are not going somewhere. We are not attaining something. The wrong notions that we already have due to ignorance are gone, and what remains is the right knowledge. Thus, the rope is not produced by the light. The light only drives away darkness. When darkness is driven away, what is obvious is that's a piece of rope. Similarly, when we get this Brahmajnanam, all the superimpositions, what called vikalpas, that I am this experiencer during waking state, I am Vishwa, or his samashti dimension is called Vaishwanara. I am the experiencer of dreams or Taijasa, or I am the experiencer of Prajna during Sushupti state. All these vikalpas, wrong self-identities, they just disappear. Now, when the wrong identities disappear, the right identity need not be invited. It is self-revealed. The rope is self-revealed. The light doesn't reveal rope. The light only drives away darkness. We stood in our way of understanding that it is a piece of rope, or it really caused the wrong notions that it is a snake. This is central thesis of Advaita, or in Mandukya. Mandukya is very simple. Now what happens is, another important point is, this particular approach supports the most well accepted view among the post-Shankarite Advaitis. For a better understanding of this tradition, I shall give a brief description of three schools of Advaitins that developed during the post-Shankarite period, based on Shankara Bhashya. One is Shabda Aparokshavada. Shabda Aparokshavada was actually propounded by Padmapada in Panchapadya. That is Sadasatta Anadhikarnattum va Mithyattum. So Padmapada defined Mithyattum as Sadasatta Anadhikarnattum, which is called Anivachaniya Khyadi. That's the technical meaning. See, Mithya is not something that is totally absent, totally non-existent, but it is not something that is absolutely existent. If this world were real, then it will never disappear. And again, it will remain without a change in the past, present, and future. It will become Shadvikara Atida, Trikala Atida, and it will be Avasthatraya Apadita. The same in the waking, dream, and deep state. The world is not like that. So, the world is not any of these. It is not Avasthatraya Atida, it is not Trikala Atida, it is not Shadvikara Atida. So, the world is Mithya. Now, what happens is, the wrong notions are not absolutely baseless. There is a snake in the zoo which you have seen in the forest, and that has registered an impression in our mind. So we read that snake into the rope. We mistook the rope for the snake. The snake is not totally absent, not absolutely non-existent. It's not asat. Asat means Sasavishana, Gandharvanagara, Vandhyaputra, which even when you utter, it negates it. When you use the word Vandhyaputra, she is not Vandhya, or he is not her putra. If it is Sasavishana, if the animal has got horns, it is certainly not hair. If it has hair, it cannot have horn. So the word itself negates its possibility. That is asat. So the world is mithya. It is not absolutely unreal, but not absolutely real. Now Shankaracharya in his commentary, somewhere he says, after the sixth mantra, he says, when you get this spiritual realization, when you get this notion that it is not rope, it is not snake, what happens is rope, then what happens, you don't have to do anything. I mean, you bring light, maybe you understand it's a rope, then you don't have to do a lot of research to verify whether it is a rope or not. The fact that it is a rope becomes obvious the moment the wrong notion that is snake disappears. So Bhashyakara says, when you get this Tattwamasi Mahavakya Upadesha, then Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti will automatically strike in our mind, becomes obvious in our mind, without any effort. It is called Shabda Aparokshama. It means the moment you listen to Mahavakya Sravana, at that time what happens is, immediately the fact that you are Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, this Anubhuti itself comes to you, without a split second. It's called Shabda Aparokshama. That's why in the Brahmasura Bhashya, Bhashyakara says, Agam Brahmasmi Mahavakya is within Dvaita. Agam Brahmasmi Anubhuti is only Advaita. So Agam Brahmasmi Mahavakya is a penultimate state. Agam Brahmasmi Anubhuti is the ultimate state. This is called Shabda Aparokshama. This Mandukya Bhashya is the foundation of the Shabda Aparokshama, which Padmapada and Panchapadika established, which again was re-emphasized by Prakasha Mayavati in Panchapadika Vivarana. So he says, for example, he says, Jnana nivatyatum va mithyatvam. That which disappears, which is removed, when Jnanam comes, that is mithya. Similarly, when you get this Sravana, Mahavakya Sravana, immediately the experience comes to you. When we are fully establishing sadhana, sadhushtaya sambhati, and Sravanam, Maranam, and Nididhyasana. Why did Guru Maharaj, Sri Ramakrishna, why did he get this experience immediately? Because all his life he was practicing Advaita, he was practicing spirituality. So naturally he was fully established in sadhana, sadhushtaya sambhati, and Sravanam, Maranam, and Nididhyasana. So when the Mahavakya came from Totapuri Tattwamasi, immediately Agam Brahmasmi Anubhuti came to you. Because in America you have to put a little masala also to make people understand. So I often give the example. Suppose every day you are driving between two cities. Suppose every day you are driving from here to the neighboring town. And every day you are doing morning and evening. And somebody talks about a tree or a shop on the way, on the road from here to the neighboring town. The moment somebody mentioned that, immediately the memory comes to you, oh, that's a shop which I see every day when I drive there. So similarly, when a person is fully established in sadhana, sadhushtaya sambhati, and Sravanam, Maranam, and Nididhyasanam, then the Mahavakya immediately becomes Anubhuti. Sravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasanam, I don't think I need to explain that, everyone knows that. But there's a technical explanation. If you want, I can explain this in the light of this. One is, Itham vakyehi tadarthana sandhanam sravanam bhavet. So, Sravanam is nothing but listening to Mahavakya, in the broader sense, the Shastra Vakyas, and contemplating on the meaning of what you hear. That is Sravana Avarti, it is called Sravanam. The Sudasya Arthasya Maranam Upavatibhi Chintanam. So when you concentrate on the meaning, the essence of what Sudhi Vakyas, and logically you analyze Upavatibhi Chintanam. Logically, Upavati means logical thinking. We go on thinking, focusing on it, reinforcing the idea in our mind. It is called Mananam. Vijadiya Pratyek Raskarena Sajadiya Pratyek Pravakikaranam Nididhyasana. So in our mind there are a lot of negative emotional currents. That is Vijadiya Pratyaya pravaha, we call it. Means lot of samskaras, vrittis, vasanas, which have accumulated over the last several hundreds of life cycles and have created lot of negative samskaras called vijardiya pratyaya pravaha. That should be blocked, that should be diverted towards positive channel. By a conflict, by a positive channel, you should divert that pravaha in the right direction. And that is called nididhyasana. Then, of course, you may also know about Kariga. Kariga is called Samshipta Sutra Bhavartha Sujaka Slokaka. A Kariga is nothing but a commentary in verses. Vartikam could be both in verse and also in prose, both Gadya and Padya. But Kariga is always in Padya. That's called, Samshipta Sutra Bhavartha Sujaka Slokaka. It should be condensed in summary, and then it should be bhavartha, it should contain the actual implied meaning of the Shastra. And it may give an indication. It is called Karika. This is Mandukya Karika, Gaurabada's Karika, 215 verses. This is a commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad. So I have mentioned this Shabda Parokshvada, which in short means the view among the post-Shankarite Advaitins, which began with Panchapadikakara, that is called Padmapada. Then the commentator Prakasa Medi, who wrote Panchapadika Vivaranam, the Vivarana Prameya Sangra Vidyaranya again followed that. According to their view, if you are fully established in sadhana, sadhushtaya sampatti, and sarvanam, mananam, and nididhyasanam, then just Mahavakya Sravana is enough for you to get anubhuti. So you have to remember the journey in Advaita is you listen to Mahavakya, that is Tattwamasi Mahavakya, and then you have to reach Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti. Between these two, there is this Anusandhana Vakya is there. Siddhanta Vakya is that means Prajnanam Brahma and Ayamatma Brahma. These two Mahavakyas are they correspond the intermediary stage between Upadesha Vakya, that is Tattwamasi, and Anubhuti Vakya, that is Aham Brahmasmi. But if a spiritual seeker is fully established in sadhana, chatushtaya sampatti, and of course in Sravana, Marana, Nididhyasana, that seeker has just to listen to Mahavakya Sravana, immediately it becomes experience. This is the view of this particular Upanishad. That is Shabda Parokshvada. In contrast to this, there are two other views. One is called Prasankhyanavada. Prasankhyanam in Vedantic tradition means Dhyana Abhyasa plus Karma Yoga. Suppose a spiritual seeker is not fully established in sadhana, sadhushtaya sampatti, and if he just reads scriptures, if he listens to Mahavakya exposition from his acharyas, Acharya Upadeshiki, Samskritam Mana, that is a Bhashyakara says, a real student is ready only when his mind is purified by Acharya Upadesha. But this cannot happen to everyone. You may read a book from the library, you may listen to a wonderful talk all about Advaita. What happens is, then we need slowly to build up this sadhana, the Dushtaya Sampatti. How do we do that? Sravanavati. That is, Sravanavati is called Parimala Paddhati in the Kalpataru Parimala. That is well-known book belonging to the Prasankhya tradition, which was actually expounded for the first time by Mandana in his Brahma Siddhi, which actually is a book on Jnana Karma Samuchayavada, which is a kind of prelude to Advaita. Mandana was the author of Brahma Siddhi, and he also wrote a well-known book on Mimamsa, it is Vidhi Viveka, But later he became Shankaracharya, if you believe the tradition. And this Shankaracharya later became the author of another school called Vartika Prasthana. So according to Vartika Prasthanam, Shabda Paroksha is okay. He agrees with the school of Vivarana Prasthana. But according to Prasankhyanavada, according to Vajaspati and others of Kalpaduru Parimala and the Bhagavati school of post-Shankarita Dvedins, you have to listen to Mahavakya, then slowly you have to build up sadhana sadhushta sambhati stage by stage, and then you have to practice sravanavarti, going on listening to shastra vakyas, practice karma yoga, and then you have to slowly become fit for mahavakya anubhuti. So it is a slow process. This also has got support in Shankaracharya's commentary. Shankaracharya says karmanishthayaha चित्त शुद्धि द्वारेण पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वं न स्वातंत्र्येण ज्ञाननिष्ठादु स्वातंत्र्येण पुरुषार्थ हेतुः अन्यन अपेक्षा. Here Bhashyakara says, if a person is not fully established in sadhana sadhushta sampatti, already he can listen to Mahavakya Sravana, he can slowly, he can get himself ready. Now I will come to the Veda mantra, that is Shanti mantra. I don't think I need to give a long exposition, but I'll try to give an interpretation which is popularly followed in the Upanishad tradition, because the mantra is actually, it is found in Taittiriya Aranyakam, and it's also found in other Brahmana and Samhita texts. So among the Mimamsas there is one view, but in Advaita tradition it is interpreted differently. To make that distinction clear, I shall try to give a brief exposition. Om Bhadram Karnevi Sunayama Devaha Bhadram Pasima Akshabit Yajatraha Stirehi Angehi Sustu Aham Tanudhi Vyasema Devahidam Yadayuhu. So a simple prayer. What's the prayer? The prayer is this: Vayam Karnevi Bhadram Sunayama, and Vayam Akshabhihi Bhadram Pasyema. This is how it goes. So Vayam means we. As who are they? Yajatra. So Yajatra means Yajana Silaha, those who are performing yajnas and yagas. May I ask you one question? Do I make sense? This approach is okay? If it is a bit too technical, too fast, I can bring down the speed. The first time. Perfectly okay. So now, according to the traditional received interpretation, Yajatraha means they are called Yajamana, those who are performing any of the 14 yajnas. 14 yajnas, Sapta Havir yajnaha, Sapta Soma yajna. These are 14 yajnas. 7 yajnas in which you offer havis, and 7 yajnas where you offer soma. These are 10. Now, normally when they recite this prayer, what they're praying for is, please make sure, please bless us that we are able to continue this yaga or yajna with our physical body, mind, indriyas all strong and steady, so that we'll be able to continue and finish this particular either it may be Aktihotra, it may be Vachakaya, it may be Aktayama, any of these 7 yajnas. This is a normal meaning. But in the Upanishadic tradition, Jajatraha means those who are spiritual seekers. That's the real meaning of Vayam Yajatraha. So here, Yaga is life itself, Yaga. And then we offer havish in fire. So our indriyas are this fire, Agni, and Vishayas, indriyarthas, sense objects, are havish. And then Yajamana is the Jiva. So Jiva is trying to slowly practice sadhanas, and slowly a Jiva is trying to realize his own true spiritual identity. Now again here the important point is, Stirehi Angehi Tushtu. So Tushtu means those who are reciting the stutis from the Samhita mantras. While uttering reciting these mantras, they offer habits in the Agni. So a spiritual seeker is trying to pray to all the deities, Indra, Mitra, Varuna, Agni, Brihaspati, Garuda, all that, to bless them to continue the spiritual journey, to keep them physically fit to eventually realize a great Brahmajnana. This is a prayer from the Upanishadic tradition. So the meaning for the Mimamsa tradition is only from the standpoint of Yajana Kriya. For the Upanishadic tradition, it is from the standpoint of a spiritual seeker. Now we are coming to two Mangala slokas. Actually, this is the only Upanishad Bhashya where Shankaracharya has carefully written two Mangala slokas. And these two Mangala slokas, in a way, summarize the entire philosophy of Mandukya Upanishad and Gaudavada Karika. That is an interesting feature of these Mangala slokas. I want to focus on the Bhashya proper rather than focusing on this, but still should I explain. So the Mangala slokas are this: Prajnanam Sut Pradhanehi Sthira Chara Nikara Vyapibir Vyapilokan Bhuktva Bhogan Sthavishtan Punaravi Dishno Bhasidan Kamajanyan Pitva Sarvan Viseshan Subhiti Madhurabu Mayaya Bhojayanno Maya Sankhya Turiyam Param Amadam Ajam Brahma Yat Tat Natosmi. So this is the Mangala sloka. Here Maya Sankhya Turiyam Param Amadam Ajam Brahma. So Turiya is called Chadurtham. Chadurtham means fourth. So it is not in the sense that it comes after third. It is not real. It just because the Turiya comes after analyzing the three previous states. So only Parambaryana means just for the context, this Turiya is called Chadurtham. But actually Turiya in Vedanta is called Purna Pratyayanta. Turiya here stands for Brahman. So the beginning is Prajnanam Suprathanehi. First of all, I'm paying my tribute to that Maya Sankhya Turiyam Brahman. What is that Brahman? That Brahman is spread in his effulgence. It is spread on everything in this world, both moving and also unmoving objects. It is Sarva Vyapi. It is Sarva Antarvyami. Again, and that Brahman, it enjoys as a witness, as a subject, as an experiencer during waking state, all these external objects, sthula objects, gross objects. The same Brahman, during waking state, you making use of mind and senses, Panchajnanendriyas and Panchakarmendriyas, experience all these external objects in waking state. It's called a Vishwa. And the same Brahman, during dream, experiences all these objects in a subtle manner, Sukshma. The difference between Sthula and Sukshma in Vedanta in this context is this. When you experience something at Sthula level, You use your mind and also your senses of perception. I can see this chair only when my sense of perception, in this case, eyes and mind come together, then I can see an object and I'm the witness. And also similarly, when my mind and any other five senses of perception, ears, Tugindriya, Sravanendriya, Sotrendriya, and all the Rasanendriya, Ghanendriya, all these indriyas and mind come together, then we experience external objects at the sthula level, at the gross level. The same experience in another dimension. During dream, experiences the same things, but without using sense any of the senses of perception. Because you see something during waking state and you dream of it in your dream. At that time, we are reproducing in our mind the same object that we experience during waking state. So, of course, there is a similarity with regard to the type of experiences, and there is also a dissimilarity. One can never have any dream experience which is totally, completely detached from waking state experiences. But it will never be a replica of waking state experiences. So in waking state, when you travel from here to place 1,000 miles away, you may need 2-3 hours, for 10 hours, you may need 20 hours, you may need. So there is a kala bheda is there. In dream, split second, mind reproduces this experience. And again there is Sushma Sthula Bheda. In dream everything is Sukshma, subtle. In dream, in waking state, there is Sthula, gross. So Sthula Bheda, Sukshma Bheda. Then Kala Bheda. And also, there is also the time difference is there. So all this you find in with regard to the difference between waking and dream experiences. At the same time, every dream experience has some foundation somewhere from our own waking state experiences. One can never have a dream experience totally detached and separate, disconnected with waking state experiences. The Vedanta will tell you that Purvapakshi asks the question, Mimamsakas. There are people who experience something in dream. There is no way to connect with any of the experiences in this life. Then the Siddhanta will say that it may have come from previous life experiences. That's also true. In fact, there are many Bhashya statements in that context. Then Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Sobhiti Madhurabhu Maya Bhojayanno. Okay, now in Sushupti what happens is, all these experiences, they become completely merged in a kind of Abhyakrita state. So in the Bhashya tradition you will say, this Sushupti is like the whole place enveloped by pitch darkness. So you cannot see, if you look at different objects from one side of the river, look at a distance, you won't be able to make out, you can't be able to see a distinction between a tree, a bus, a car, or a human being. Everything is enveloped in pitch darkness. So that means all visheshas, all diversities, all distinctions are completely merged, they disappear. That's a Pitva Sarvan Visheshan. In deep sleep or Sushupti, deep sleep is Sushupti state. In Sushupti state what happens is, all these distinctions, they totally disappear. Madhura Bhung, there you are Ananda Bhung, you are enjoying. Why we are enjoying? This Ananda, the word comes in the Bhashya again and again. Bhashyakara will tell you, in Sushupti, you have a kind of, a special kind of inner bliss. It is only an excessive amount of joy. That's why, we can get complete rest only in Sushupti or Samadhi. But people sometimes make very wrong statements. Sushupti and Samadhi are the same, absolutely wrong. Mandukya Upanishad, long statement, Vyaprova, Mashoga, Simkhova, the animals also go into Sushupti, they come back as animals only. But in Sushupti, we are not experiencing diversity. We are not experiencing Dvaita. Sushupti is an experience of Dvaita Abhava. So we become tired, we feel the effort, the fatigue, when there is a subject-object distinction. When the subject-object distinctions are totally gone, when we don't see anything other than our own self, that is the name of the highest bliss. It is the same thing in a much more exalted degree in spiritual enlightenment. When we become a Brahmajnani, the same Ananda becomes Ananda Eva. It becomes one with Ananda. It becomes the nature of Ananda without a second. It is not an excessive quantity of Ananda, it is Ananda itself. But in Sushupti, you get a little bit of small little bit of that bliss you get. That's why we feel rested, we feel sukhi. Bhashyakara will say, Ananda book, we feel this kind of inherent blissfulness in Sushupti. So, Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Sobhiti Madhura Maya Bhojayan no. And what happens is, the Maya Sankhya Turiyam Param Amudam Ajam Brahmayat Nadosmi. So Turiya is not in the sense the fourth that comes after the third, rather it is called Purna Pratyaya. That means the analysis of Turiya Anubhuti by context comes only after experiencing, or rather after analyzing, explaining, describing Sushupti. So what is Turiya? Turiya is the eternal witness, the seer, the perceiver, who remain the same without any change in all the three states. Turiya is present, Brahman is present as Vishwa in waking state, as Taijasa in dream state, as Prajna in Sushupti state, but at the same time distinct from all these three, present in all the three, transcending all the three, present in all the three, and distinct from all the three. Why distinct? It comes later. I want to finish this particular context. Now, Bhashyakara says, Kasha Panavat Na Gauriva. So, that can be explained in this. It comes in the Bhashyakara. It means is, in ancient time, there used to be a coin. It's called Karshapana. Let's say modern time, 1 rupee coin. Let's say 1 rupee coin. So Vishwa represents, let's say, a quarter, 4 annas, so to speak, ancient times. Taijasa, let us say, 8 annas. 8 annas means in a total 16 annas, 1 rupee. And Prajna, let's say, 3 quarters. Now, the half 8 annas contains in it quarter also. And 75 paisa coin contains in all the 3. But again, the Turiya is potentially present in the 4th anna, 8th anna, and also the 75 paisa coin. But at the same time, Turiya is beyond all that thing. So, Turiya is, in a way, the essence of Chaitanya present in all the 3 states, present in all the 3 states as the essential perceiver, but beyond and transcending all the 3 states. That's the meaning of Turiya here. That's a Gauriva, where it means a cow with 4 legs. You cannot analyze the 4 legs of the cow the way you analyze the 4 anna, 8 anna, 75. 8 anna contains in it 4 annas also. So Turiya contains in all the other previous states. But again, it is not 4th. That's Maya Sankhya Turiya. It is not really fourth, but it is mentioned as fourth. The Turiya actually can literally mean fourth also, but is mentioned that way only by force of context. The same Mangala Sloka comes, more or less the same thing. Yo Vishwatma Vidija Vishayan Pasya Bhogan Sthavishtan. The same Turiya as Vishwatma, as Vishwa, and Vividha Vishayan Prapya Bhogan Sthavishtan Bhogan Prapya. Sometimes with a different Padaveda is there. Same Turiya during waking state as Vishwa enjoys, interacts with all these external objects. Then Paschat Anyan Sumadhi Bhavan Jyotisha Svena Sukshman. And same Turiya during dream state, Sumadhi Bhavan Jyotisha Svena Sukshman. Sumadhi Bhavan means the Chittam, Antakarana, Mati here, it retains all the memories from Jagrat state, stores there. In dream, these memories are automatically replayed, re-experienced. And then the same Turiya, Sarvanidan Punarvi Shadehi Swatmani Stavayitva. And then during Susupti state, same Turiya as Prajna, slowly, gradually, Shadehi means. So actually, Susupti state, the most effortless, natural state of human experience. In Jagrat state, there will be always some effort, because there is always distinction between subject and object. But in dream experience, there is less of that. But in Susupti, the subject-object distinctions are completely gone. What happens slowly, we enter the Susupti, Shanehi, Swatmani Sthavayitva, Hitva Sarvan Visheshan, Vigata Guna Ganas Padu Asu Nasturiyeha. And Asau Turiyeha Padu. Asman Padu means, let this Turiya bless me. What is the Sarvan Visheshan Vigata Guna Gana? Turiya by its true nature is devoid of all these distinctions, all these characteristics. Now we come to Bhashya proper. I told you, I have the text with you. So, at the beginning, Anandagiri makes some very important observations, because Anandagiri wrote a commentary not only the Upanishad but also on the Karika. So, with regard to Karika, Anandagiri says the Mandukya Upanishad and Karika together, they do not constitute a Shastram. Omitti Daksharam Sarvam Tasya Upavyakhyanam. Tasya Upavyakhyanam. So, Vedanta Artha Sara Sangraha Bhudamidam Prakarana Sadushtayam Omitti Daksharam Ityadi Arabhyadi. This is the beginning of the Bhashya proper. So, Anandagiri says, and he gives a definition to what is Shastram, what is not Shastram. He says, Shastra Egadesha Sambuddham. Shastra Karyandare Sthidam Pragaranam Nama Grantha Vedu Vivaschidaha. This is his interpretation. He says this Prakarana Sadushtayam is mentioned here. 4 Prakaranas of Gaudavada's Karika. Agama Prakaranam, Vaidathi Prakaranam, Dvida Prakaranam, Aladha Shanti Prakaranam. 4 Prakaranas. So Anandagiri will tell you that it focuses on a single subject. And he says, again, it deals with every aspect related to the single subject. But it doesn't say anything to make it a complete Shastram. Because to make it a complete Shastram, the theme, the central topic should be discussed elaborately. A number of upasanas and sadhanas should be discussed. Like for example, Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra Bhashya is a Shastra. Brahma Sutra and also Brihadaranyaka Chandogya, all this contains not only philosophy, but also a lot of other important methods of practices. Gita Shastram is called. Gita contains not only philosophy, So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and many other upasanas methods are there. So also you find Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya, all other Upanishads contain not only philosophy, but also a number of other vidyas. Total 108 vidyas are mentioned here. Vidyas are called upasanas. Again, these vidyas are meant to make us more ready to understand what Mandukya Upanishad describes. So, our mind should reach a very high level of mental purity. Then only we will be able to do vichara. And vichara is the only topic discussed in Mandukya Upanishad. That is slightly boring, There is absolutely nothing, no other entertaining or interesting subject of practices or anything. So, and then Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. This is the only topic discussed here. And again, Bhashyakara will bring the Rajasarpa again and again you find. And also a number of other important topics. So, Om Iti Edadaksharamidam Sarvam Tasya Upavayakyanam. So, the first mantra, you can take the mantra if you proper, then you understand. You are used to the Om Iti Edadaksharamidam Sarvam Tasya Upavayakyanam. That mantra bhaga is quoted here. This is how it begins. Om Iti Edadaksharam. See, A, U, Ma, they constitute Om, which also represent Vishwa, Tejas, Prajna, which also represent the what we call the Saguna Brahman aspect. Whatever experiences belong to time, space and causation, all belong to A, U and Ma. After that comes Amatra, that is Turiya, that goes beyond all this. You will understand slowly. So, Vedanta Artha Sara Sangra Bhudam Idam Prakarana Sadushtayam. So, these four Prakaranas, they deal with only the Nirguna Advaita. So, and that is Vedanta Artha Sara Sangra Bhudam, the essence of the entire Vedanta philosophy. And then Bhashyakara says, this is how the Upanishad begins. Ataeva na pruthak sabbandha vidheya prayojanani vaktavyani. So there is no need to specially mention this anubandha sadushtaya, that is adhigari vishaya sabbandha prayojana. Because the ultimate purpose is moksha. So, and moksha is the purpose of the central theme of all moksha shastras, all Vedanta shastras. And this is the essence of Vedartha Sara Sangra Bhudam, Vedanta Artha Sara Sangra Bhudam. So whatever Anubandha Sadushtaya apply to other Vedantic books, apply here also. So therefore, na pruthak sabbandha videya prayojanani vaktavyani. Therefore, there is no need to specially mention the adhigari sambandha vishaya prayojana, etc. Yani eva tu vedante sambandha videya prayojanani tani eva iha api bhavidum arhanti. So whatever vishaya adhigari sambandha prayojana apply to other important Vedanta books, apply here also. Tathapi prakarana vyajikhyasuna samshebhuto bhaktavyam iti. So there are bhaktavyani iti, that also another part of Veda is there. Manyante vyakhyataraha. Still, because of the tradition, time-honored tradition, I am going to mention this. You see. So, coming next. Tatra Prayojanavat sadhana abhivanchakatvena abhideya sambandham shastram parambaryena visishta sambandha abhideya prayojanot bhavati. Now, this particular book, it expounds, it describes moksha, which is the prayojanam, tatra prayojanavat sadhana abhivanchakatvam. So, this particular book expounds the methods and means, that is vichara, which will eventually lead us to moksha, which is the prayojana. And therefore, sadhanatvena abhideya sambandham shastram. Shastram Upanishad parambaryena visishta sambandha abhideya prayojana bhavati. So, if you study this Grantha, which expounds moksha, which is the prayojanam of Vedanta Granthas, and this book expounds the Vicharamarga as the sadhanam, as the means for attaining this moksha. Parambaryana means slowly, gradually, not directly, gradually, this vichara will take a person to the highest spiritual purpose. Kim punasta prayojanamidi. Now, what is that ultimate goal? Uchchade yogartasya iva yoga nivritto susthada. The bhashya actually begins here. Till then it's only some kind of prelude. So Bhashyagara comes the central topic now. Kim tat prayojanam iti. What is that ultimate goal? What is the ultimate purpose? Ultimate prayojanam? What is the moksha? So he gives an example. Yoga nyaya. It means Uchchade yogartasya iva yoga nivritto susthada. How do we get rid of an illness or disease? Only for getting back to our pristine health condition. Many of the teachers, traditional schools, they quote one verse from Charaka Samhita while explaining this, an old method. Says, Samadosha Samadhischa Samadhatu Malakpriyaha Prasanna Pendriya Manaha Susthaga iti abhijiyate. It is from Ayurveda. So what it says is, what is Sosthata? The same word is used as Sosthata. What is our true health? Our true health is our true nature. The natural state of human body is that it is healthy. When we get any bacteria or virus, then what happens? The virus is an intruder, uninvited guest. So the only way to get back to our pristine health condition is yoga nivritti, to get rid of the illness. That loga nyaya is used by Bhashyagara. This is how the Bhashya actually begins. So rogatasya iva yogatasya yoga nivritto susthada iva. This is the part. This is the krama. For a person who is sick, afflicted by a disease, so far as he is concerned, his susthada, his health means getting rid of the cause of the disease, yoga nivritti. Now, what is the yoga here? What is the disease here? Samsara is nivritti. Samsara is yoga. Our wrong notion, adhyasa, avidya, mithya, all these constitute yoga, mean dehatma buddhi. So once we get rid of these, we are not getting anything new, we are only getting back what we actually belong to, what actually belongs to us. So health is a natural state. That is the meaning of, prasanna apendriya manaha. When our mind, indriyas, everything is in perfect order, in a perfect harmony, that is called health. Similarly, when we identify with our own true nature, Brahman, Atman, that is our true spiritual health. When we identify ourselves with body, mind, intellect, senses, that is disease. So this disease needs medicine. The medicine is only Brahmajnana. So that is the context. Yogartasya iva yoga nivritto susthada tatha dukkhatmagasya atmanaha dvaita prapanchopashame susthada. Similarly, when we are afflicted by this illness of dehatma buddhi, what happens is we have to take medicine, and the medicine is dvaita prapanchopashama, which comes in the 7th mantra. You find Dvaita prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam saduktham, etc. you find there. So the only means, method to get back to our spiritual health is this Dvaita Prapancha Upashama. Again, when Dvaita Prapancha goes away, that also I want to explain this. Again, you have to think of the Rajasapa Bhranti. When you bring light on the wrong notions that this object is a snake, crack on the floor, Bhuchidra, Danda, all these wrong notions, the Upashama, they get self-destroyed. They just cease to exist. Because they really did not exist. There was no snake there. The Sarpa Pratiti, Sarpa Bhranti disappears. Similarly, the wrong notion that we are this body, we are happy now, we are unhappy now, all these constitute Roga. The Roga disease goes away when the Prapancha becomes substitute Upashama. Upashama means gradual self-extinction. They just cease to exist. Remember, the snake is not driven away from the room. The snake idea ceases to exist. This is an important thing. This is a big subject. You may wonder why I am harping on this. It's a big topic in Vedanta. Very interesting also. It was very little bit of much more interesting than computer game, in my opinion. Very interesting. See, for example, the Purvapakshi will ask the question. But suppose the man still thinks it is a sarpa. Purvapakshi asks the question. Then the Siddhanta will tell you, all right, but I am ready to take it in my hand. If the sarpa pratiti has not disappeared, I won't dare to touch the rope. The fact that I am willing to touch the rope shows the sarpa pratiti has gone away. Like that, a jiva mukta, so for a jiva mukta is concerned, Dvaita Prapancha is subject to upashama, gradual self-extinction. So that's why, Tatha Dukkhatmakasya Atmanaha Dvaita Prapancha Upashame will be Nanatva Bodha. That is the real meaning. Nanatva means this feeling Prapancha or different objects. I am different from everything else, all because of Dehatma Buddhi. So Nanatva Bodha completely goes away, and that is called Sosthata. Now one may ask this question. This happens in Sushupti also. The point is, in Sushupti, technically, our ability to experience Dvaita gets atrophied, gets destroyed. The mind is not functional. Mind becomes dysfunctional. So Dvaita still exists, but we are not able to perceive it. Nanatva Bodha doesn't exist because we are not able to feel Nanatva Bodha in Sushupti. The fact that Nanatva Bodha is still there is born when we come back from Sushuptic waking state, again the old Nanatva Bodha returns. But after Prapanchopashama, their feeling is not that. Prapanchopashama means you bring the light, you are fully convinced it is not sarpa, you take it, put it in your head, you are not afraid. That is the state of real Jiva state. This is coming here. That is called Dvaita Prapanchopashama. So let me see what's the time now. So, yes, I think so. I'll take a little more, then if you have anything to ask, most welcome. Then again, Advaita Bhava Prayojanam. Advaita Bhava Prayojanam means, so Advaita, it is not in avastha, means Vedanta, Mandukya will tell you that Mandukya never mentions any upasanas. But it says all upasanas are meant to eventually take us to the state where we understand the true meaning when we read Mandukya. That's the purpose. That's called the Advaita Bhava. Advaita Bhava actually means it is rope, it's a snake, all the vikalpas completely disappear. This prayojanam. Dvaita prapanchasya cha avidya krutva vidya tadupashamasya idi Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya Asya Arabha Kriyate. So remember, the Dvaita Prapanchasya Avidya Kutatva. Dvaita Prapancha is a result, is a creation of this avidya. That is, avidya can only be explained technically as the absence of vidya. Avidya has no other definition. Avidya and Maya are as anivachiniya as Brahman itself in Vedanta. Brahman is anivachiniya because Brahman is vacha mahocharatva, is beyond, it transcends words and sense perception. Avidya or Maya are anivachiniya because it really doesn't exist. But you understand it really doesn't exist only when you come out of it. When you are within Maya, Maya is the only thing that exists for us. The fact that Maya really doesn't exist, we understand only when we come out of it. That is, Sangha, Pesanga, Vibhyat, Nigano, the Vivekananda definition is there. Swamiji almost gives complete verbatim translation when he talks about Maya. So, Maya is also beyond definition. Maya is Anadi, but Maya is not Ananta. Maya is Santa. Maya is an end when you get spiritual knowledge. So, as you are concerned, Maya comes to an end. Maya cannot be defined because Maya is not there to begin with. So, he is simply asking, because when did the snake come to the room? There is no answer to the question because snake never really came to it. There was no snake at all. But then you feel there is a snake. That is only Smriti Rupa. So snake also is beyond definition because such a thing doesn't exist. That's why Panchapadikakara says Sadasatta Anadhikarnatumva Mithyatvam. There cannot be any foundation for something that is neither existence nor existence. Therefore, the avidya, mithya, maya, they have some minor differences at the Purvapaksha Siddhanta level, but the general understanding, they are all interlinked. Now coming to subject. So, Dvaita Prapanchasya cha avidya kratva vidya tatupashamaka. So, the Dvaita Prapancha is a creation of vidya, so it can be removed only through vidya. Sya iti Brahma Vidya Prakashanaya Asya Arambha Kriyate. Therefore, to expound at Brahma Vidya, this particular text begins. Yatra hi dvaita vibhavati, the Brihadantika text is there. The Yagnavakya's famous exposition, Yatra hi dvaita vibhavati, is very famous in Yagnavakya's. You can see the Brihadantika later. Yatra va anya divasya tatra anya anyan prasid अन्यः अन्य विजानीयाद etc. यत्र तस्य सर्वम् आत्मैव भूत् तत्केन कं पश्येत् केन कं विजानीया इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः अस्य अर्थस्य सिद्धिः. So Bhashyakara here quotes this as pramana. So remember, Sushupti is also a kind of prapancha, Dvaita Prapancha Vashama, but it's only because we are not able to perceive experience with the prapancha. Not because we have gone beyond it. In spiritual knowledge, in jnanam, in moksha, you transcend. In Sushupti, you do not transcend. That's the main distinction. Now coming to the Bhashya continues. Now tatra tavat omkar nirayaya prathamam prakaranam agama pradhanam atma tattva padivati vayabhudam. Now we are coming to the Agama Prakarana. Tatra, so in this context, first Prakarana is Agama Pradhana. So this Prakarana is called Agama Pradhana, means there Bhashyakara and also the Karikakara Gaudapada focuses on the Shruti aspect of this philosophy. So, Gaudapada Karika in this Agama Prakarana, he focuses on the Upanishad only. Remember, in the Bhashya tradition, you find the first Karika is considered to be a condensation or summary of all the first six mantras of Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad's highest philosophy is expounded in the 7th mantra, which actually is called Nishedha Mukha. Brahman cannot be explained as it is. Brahman can only be explained by explaining what it is not. Nishedha Mukha. So, if it is beyond definition, beyond description, sarva pramana avadhi, it cannot be explained or described by using any of the 6 pramanas which are accepted by Advaitins. Then what is that Adibhuti? So that Purvaksha Siddhanta comes later. The answer is this: when everything is left out and there is some supreme reality, then that should be the real nature. Again, coming to the Jyotisva Bhranti, when you remove all the wrong notions that you have about the Rechu, one man thinks it is Sarpa, another person thinks it is Bhuchidra, another man thinks it is Danda or stick or any other object, and all of them finally realize it is not Sarpa, it is not Danda, it is not Bhuchidra. What is it? It is obvious. There is no need for, you don't have to give a lecture. It is a piece of rope. It is self-evident, self-prakashana. Here also one question will arise. In Vedanta, for those of you who are not familiar, I will give you an introduction. There are 10 pramanas in Indian philosophy. In Vedanta, there are only 6 pramanas. So, the first 5 pramanas are accepted by Prabhagara school of Mimamsakas, 1 pramana by these Charvakas, 2 pramanas by Bauddhas, 3 and 4 pramanas by Sankhya, Yoga and others, and then 5 pramanas by Prabhagara Mimamsa, Prabhagara school, 6 pramanas are accepted by Advaitins, also Bharta Mimamsas. But in the entire Indian philosophical tradition, there are 10 pramanas mentioned, which one way can be an extension of the earlier pramanas. The Pratyaksha, Anumana, Upamana, Sabda, Arthavati, Anuvilabdhi, Sambhava, Aitihya, Cheshta, Parisheshya. These are the 10 pramanas. So some people will ask the question, if Brahman cannot be explained, Turiya cannot be explained, if Turiya cannot be called the 4th state, then why, and you already mentioned it is for, it cannot be explained anything, then it should be Sasavishana. It's like the horns of a hare. It also cannot be explained. Then the Siddhartha will tell you, no. When you realize this truth, then you understand your true nature. When you take away all wrong vikalpas from the Rechu, then there is an object lying there. So it cannot be called Shunyam, it cannot be called non-entity. So what is that? Without a foundation, there cannot be any Mithyatva. There should be a piece of rope lying in the room. Then only you can mistake that rope for a snake. So when the snake idea is gone, what is left out is the absolute reality. Like that, Niti. That is Nanda Prakyam, Nabhish Prakyam, Nubheda Prakyam, Na Prakyam, Na Prakyam. You find 7th mantra. It is neither the experience or waking state or dream state or deep sleep state. Like that goes on. It's not this, etc. Somebody will ask the question. In that case, you are not eating during daytime, you may be eating at night time. So, sometimes, Pratyaksha, Anumana, Arthavati can be used, or Parishesha can be used, Parishesha Nyaya. What is left out?